I want to go to Deeptika Laurent on the touchscreen just to remind viewers tonight, to remind you where the political landscape is, who holds the power according to predictions.
Absolutely. So let's just give you a quick recap of the projected number of seats per coalition. So this is the left-wing alliance there, 172 to 192 seats projected. Of course, this is the together presidential majority. So that's Emmanuel Macron's parliamentary group, 150 to 170, and then that far-right alliance here, 132 to 152. Now, we do have the breakdown within that of the individual parties. So let's give you Emmanuel Macron's together coalition. You have his party there projected to pick up 95 to 105 seats, and his partners there, 31 to 37 for the Democratic Movement, 24 to 28 for the Horizons. For the far-right alliance, the National Rally Party and Marine Le Pen's party projected to pick up 120 to 136 seats, and Les Républicains about 12 to 16 seats. And then you have, of course, a new Popular Front, really the big winners of the evening, if you like, with that four-party coalition there. The Greens projected to pick up about 32 to 36 seats, Socialist Party 63 to 69, France Unbowed, that's Jean-Luc Mélenchon's party, projected to pick up 68 to 74 seats, and the Communists are rounding that up with 10 to 12 seats. So that is really the breakdown of what the next National Assembly could potentially look like according to these projections.
Deeptika Laurent there helping us crunch the numbers as we digest this extraordinary night in French politics, that political upset with the left-wing alliance doing far better than had been anticipated and coming out ahead, potentially now in a position to form a government. Well, we are going to lose shortly Arnaud Dassier of the National Rally. So just one final question to you, sir, before you have to leave. We were speaking before about what went wrong. You blamed effectively the voting system, this two-round voting system. Isn't it also, though, the kinds of policies that you were selling the French people? Issues of dual nationality, for example, of how immigrants would be integrated into France. That kind of language was divisive, and as we can see from these numbers, it hasn't convinced lots of people.
No, it has convinced more than 10 million people. And politics is always divisive. That's the reason of democracy. You have to be divisive, otherwise you are selling nothing. And I think if you look at the people choose, but the democracy has been created to manage these divisions, which are normal. There is no problem in divisions by itself. If you look at the program of the National Rally, and that's the reason why I joined it. It's because it's no different from the program of the right that I knew when I was a student. RPR, UDF, they had a common platform, and in the 90s, and it was harder than the one of the National Rally. So the problem is on the right. There is a problem on the right, which are being frightened and afraid by the language of the left. And they have to think about that, especially from my political family, Les Républicains. They really have to have a deep thinking about their lack of strategy, because refusing all alliance on the left and on the right, it means that you lose and you're going nowhere. And meanwhile, the country will be managed again by an alliance between the center on the left, or the left and the center left. We don't really know tonight. But I'm not sure that's what the Republicans wanted. I'm not sure that's what the people wanted, because when you see the popular vote in the European election and the first round, there was a clear signal that
clear difference to the results
was
tonight.
The one gathering the most votes. And if we were in England, we would have a crushing majority tonight.
Well, in England, the voting system is different as well.
Yeah.
When you look at, just worth saying, your situation, Arnaud, you were one of the architects of Nicolas Sarkozy's presidential success back in 2007. If you went back to the you of 2007, would you be joining with the Front National as it was then?
Yeah, I think we should have done that a long time ago. When I was a student, I was already in favor of that.
And under Jean-Marie Le Pen?
Yeah, because when the Républicain was much stronger at the time, and so to have a little minority party that is inside your majority is very easy to manage. And now that's the total opposite, and it's a more difficult situation to manage. So for me, it was always necessary to do that. Otherwise, you're just giving power to the left, and that's what's happening tonight.
I ask you that because Marine Le Pen said she was getting rid of anybody considered the detestables within her own party, moving aside her father, moving aside those who had Nazi and neo-Nazi links. And yet you're saying even then you would have still joined the party.
Yeah, because there is always an extreme left and an extreme right in any country. You have to manage them. In the 70s, there was an extreme right. The Republican Party took them into the party and made them moderate people. You know, that's how you manage the extremists. You welcome, and by the way, that's exactly what the left is doing has done right now.
Well,
when
you're
it's a
talking,
good thing. You take the activists and you take them inside the system, and they are not activists and extremists anymore. That's the beauty of democracy. That's how it should work.
Christopher Weissberg has joined. It's shaking your head as Arnaud's talking. You clearly disagree with the fact that he would consider 10 years ago joining the National Front.
20 years ago too.
I think it's an interesting statement, what you just said. First of all, you mentioned that you thought that politics was the art of division. It was how to work about division. That's precisely how democracy manage divisions.
You have to manage division.
Well, yes, but it's not by having an alliance with those who want the country to be divided, because
nobody wants the country to be divided.
the extreme right, the purpose of the extreme right is to divide the country.
No.
And you've seen that on absolutely
That's
every
not true.
policy topics, and that's why the only loser tonight is your coalition.
I can say the same about the left. Division between the rich and the poor. Between the Jews and the Muslims.
Of course. So you think that you're talking on French television to say that politics is about division between the Jews and the Muslims?
No,
are we kidding? Are we kidding?
Your lies.
You just talked about
your
this.
lies on the extreme left are doing that.
You just talked about it.
Your lies.
It's absolutely
your
crazy.
lies on the extreme left
are using everything about our republic.
Are using the problem in Palestine to gather votes from the Muslims against the Jews.
There shouldn't be any division between the Jews or the Muslims. It's absolutely crazy to tell this on French television tonight. I'm just saying
that's exactly what you're doing. You are doing exactly this thing. So what are you talking about? That's what you're doing. Using the Muslims' votes against the Jews.
Let's clarify what's being said here. You are accusing the left of stirring up aggression, and because of what's happening in Gaza, and that is encouraging more Muslims to vote for them. That's your accusation.
There are more Palestinian flags in their rallies than French flags. What does it mean?
Is that factually accurate? I'm not so sure.
No, of course it is. Everybody has eyes to see the images.
Christopher Weissberg, it is true though that it's been a divisive campaign, and the Israel-Palestine issue has come up, hasn't it?
Sure.
And it's been an issue on the left, arguably anti-Semitism. It's fair to say that, isn't it?
Well, first of all, I'm not part of the left. I'm a member of the president coalition, which is called Ensemble, which precisely is not about this. The two extremes, the extreme left and the extreme right, are made to divide the people. So as you just mentioned, the extreme left is raising the issue of Gaza when the extreme right is raising the issue of dividing the Muslims. No, absolutely. That's good BS, but that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything. What I'm saying is that tonight, the bet that you made that was completely against everything that your leaders standed for so many years, precisely Mr. Chirac, who always made a clear border between the extreme right and the right. And this call was a clear loss, and that's what's the result of tonight's election.
If you ask me, it was a mistake, because there is no such clear division.
There's no such clear division?
Said, no,
there are
like
10 guys from
there is
who
no
fought
such
just
division.
like you,
there is
and
no
most
such
people
division.
lost.
There's no such division between the Republicans and the National Rally nowadays. It's not true.
Olivia, we're from the Socialist.
Absolutely. Let's hear from Olivia. Shall we? You're talking about the left. Let's hear from Olivia, who's from the Socialist Party.
Is a specialist of fake news and so on, so he knows what he's talking about. But I mean, this is not just the point for the French people, the separation you talked about. And I'm sure that the French people are not that divided. But the far right used, for sure, the immigration theme to make the people get against the others. And you are the one, you belong to this strategy. You show this, and you show to divide people, the French people. And tonight, they said, we don't want that. And this is the defeat of your strategy, of the Socialist strategy tonight. So I just want to say that I think that for the French people they want change, and they want us to get involved in their everyday problems, like the buying power and all the end of the months and so on. It was François Hollande told about that, about the retirement reform.
Yeah, retirement. Yeah.
Let's stay with this. We're going to continue this conversation, but I want to go to where the gathering is of the National Rally, and let's bring in Catherine Norris-Trent.